Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam review class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. We are discussing from the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are discussing the beautiful pastime of appearance of Lord Nrsimhadev. And the last class we discussed how Lord Nrsimhadev, when he appeared, he was very angry because he had, Hiranyakashipu was tormenting the innocent devotee Prahlad, and just to fulfill the words of his devotee, Nrsimhadev appeared from the pillar. And then there was a huge, long fight, very intense, fierce fight, which happened between Nrsimhadev and Hiranyakashipu, and ultimately, keeping all the promises and benedictions of Brahmaji intact, Nrsimhadev, he killed Hiranyakashipu. And after Nrsimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu, and then all the demons, they also attacked, they were also killed. And then Nrsimhadev, he sat on the throne of Hiranyakashipu, because it was the throne of his own devotee, Jai and Vijay. So then, after killing everybody, the remaining demons, they surrendered. And now all the devatas, they came, Brahmaji came, Lord Shiva, Indra, and all the other Nagas, Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, Vidyadhara, everybody came and they offered their prayers. But Nrsimhadev was not getting pacified. He was so very angry. Then Brahmaji, he told Lakshmi Devi that you please go, aapke pati hai, so please pacify him. So Lakshmi Devi said, I have never seen my husband in this mood. I am not able to recognize him. So she also denied. And then Brahmaji, he told Prahlad, look Prahlad, for you Nrsimhadev has come. So it is your duty to now please go and pacify Nrsimhadev. And then we discussed beautiful, beautiful prayers which Prahlad offered. First he described his humble position, that he is not qualified to offer prayers because he is from a low-born demoniac family, but still Lord is pleased by devotion. So therefore he started offering beautiful prayers, and after offering so many prayers, we discussed how Nrsimhadev, he was so very pacified. And as we can see in this slide, he's saying, Prahlad bhadram bhadram te prito ham te surottama varam vrinishva abhimitam kama puro asmyaham nrinam. So, oh Prahlad, I am very pleased with you. Please ask for a benediction. Because seeing me is so very rare. Whenever I come, it is my desire to fulfill the desires of the devotee. So therefore, that was the end of the 9th chapter which we discussed. And then in last verse of this 9th chapter describes, although Nrsimhadev, he tempted Prahlad, but Prahlad did not have any material desires. And with this we'll begin the 10th chapter today. So Prahlad, he considered all the benedictions which are offered by Lord Nrsimhadev in the last 2 verses of the 9th chapter. He considered that these are the impediments in the path of Bhakti Yoga. Because if somebody, as Kunti Maharani also says, Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shribhir Edamanam Madappaman Naivarhatya Vidhatum Vai Twam Akinchana Gochara. High birth, beautiful body, wealthy person, all these things are impediments. If somebody does not surrender to Krishna, if somebody has a possessive mentality, then he cannot surrender to Krishna. Only by mercy of the Lord, even after having all these things, one will not become proud. As Vamanadev tells about Bali Maharaj, Janma, Karma, Vayo, Rupa, Vidya, Aishwarya, Dhanadibhi, Yadi Yasya na Bhavet Stambha, Yatrayam Mad Anugrahat. So Bali Maharaj, Vamandev tells, even after having all the high birth, very good pious activities, youthful body, beautiful body, highly educated, Vidya, Aishwarya, all the opulence, Dhan, Adi, whatever you feel in this world is great. If somebody is possessing all that, but still he is not proud of it, then you should know that Tatra Ayam Mad Anugrahat. He has received my mercy. So therefore, Prahlad considered that all these benedictions, because they are impediments on the path of Bhakti Yoga, so therefore he did not accept it. So Prabhupada writes there, material achievements, they are not the ultimate goal of devotional service. What is the ultimate goal of devotional service? That is to love Krishna, to please Krishna. And therefore, Prabhupada he writes about few examples. Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj. All these were great devotee kings. They were so very opulent. But they accepted the material opulence only for the service of the Supreme Lord. Kimte kama surasparha mukunda manaso duja adi jahrur mudam rakya shuditasya yathetare. The glory of Yudhishthir Maharaj's kingdom was so much that even Devatas were envious of it. Even Devatas wanted that. But Yudhishthir Maharaj had no desire. Apipala dharma raja pitrivat ranjayan prajan ispriyat sarvakamebhyo Krishna padanusevaya. He was taking care of the citizens just like the children. He had no desire for sense gratification. Krishna padanusevaya. He was surrendered to the Supreme Lord Krishna. So that is the consciousness of any great devotee. So, when Prahlad Maharaj, he heard this, he thought, tempting an ignorant boy, the Lord is testing me, So he's thinking, okay, Lord is thinking I am an ignorant boy. So that's why he's tempting me. So therefore, Prahlad says now, Mamam pralobhayat patya sakta kameshu tairvarei. Tatsangabhito nirvinno mumukshu tvamupashritah. So Prahlad says, oh my Lord, please don't allure me. Pralobhan, please don't allure me by all these things. I am already born in a demoniac family. Saktam kameshu, I am attached to sense desires. I am already steeped in the material enjoyment. And tat sanga abhito nirvinno, but I am very, very afraid of material existence. That's what Prahlad Maharaj also told in one of the prayers to Narasimhadev. He said, oh my Lord, I am not fearful of your very fierce form. Naham bibhemi ajitate. I am not fearful, bibhemi. I am not fearful of your very fierce looking form, your sharp nails and your mane, your teeth. Ajitate ati bhayanakasya jihva arka bhrukuti rabhaso agra damstrat. I am not fearful of anything. I am only fearful of one thing. Trastosmyaham kripana vatsaladuh sahogra samsara chakra kadanad gasatam pranitah. I am fearful of this material existence. So therefore Prahlad is saying, Tatsanga bhito nirvinno. I am afraid of material association. Therefore now nirvinna. I have given up all the material desires. Mumukshu. What do I want? I want liberation. I want liberation from this material contamination. Therefore tvam upashritah. I have come to your shelter. So therefore the ultimate goal of bhakti is not material achievement but love of God. and Krishna will always test his devotee. So we should be ready to undergo all the tests. Just like Prabhupada said, Krishna tested me twice. Once by taking away everything from me, and secondly by giving everything to me. So that's how the tests will be given by the Lord. Just like in the case of Dhruva Maharaj also, Lord tempted Dhruva. Please accept. You are such a great devotee. Please accept these benedictions. So, thinking like this, when Prahlad says, please do not tempt me, Lord may say, do I actually tempt my devotees? Prahlad said, no, actually you don't tempt your devotee. You simply show the world the greatness of your devotee. You simply show the world the highest steadiness of a devotee. So that is why Lord tests pure devotees. That's why Lord tests his intimate associates. So that by their personal example, they can show to the world how to react, how to respond when temptations come in life. And therefore, he says, what is your intention, O my Lord? Your intention is to show the quality of your devotee. What is that quality? That devotee will not be allured in any of the material circumstances. And that's why, you are telling me to accept this, telling me to ask the benediction. And then Prahlad says, desiring to exhibit the symptoms of your devotee. Very beautiful verse. In this verse, Prahlad says that actually you have sent me in this world, O my Lord. You wanted to show the world how great a devotee is. That's why you have sent me to this world. This world is full of lusty desires, and you have sent me to this world so that I may show the world how a pure devotee should act. Achodayat, the word which is used. Achodayat means you have sent me to this world. So Prabhupada writes there are two types of devotees, Nitya Siddha and Nitya Baddha. Nitya Siddha devotees, they come from Vaikuntha, they perform some pastimes on the order of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then they go back. And therefore, Supreme Lord, he has no desire to send his pure devotee to this material world so that he may become entangled. He only sends his pure devotees to the material world so that they may set a right example. That is the purpose. That's what Bhagavad Gita also Krishna is telling to Arjuna. Arjuna was thinking that, I am qualified to renounce. Krishna says, even if you are qualified to renounce, still you should work. Still you should fight. Because yad yad acharati shrestha tatta deveta rojana. Whatever a great person does, a common people follow. And then after saying this, Prahlad says, oh my Lord, I am not a merchant. Nanyatha te akhila guru ghateta karunatmanah yasta ashisha asaste na sa bhritya savaivanik. So he's saying, oh my Lord, you are so very merciful. You are karuna atmanah. You are so kind, that you have come and you are giving me so many benedictions. But you do not induce a devotee to do something which is unbeneficial for him. You will never give a benediction to a devotee which will do harm to that devotee. Therefore, one should not desire anything material in this world. If somebody renders devotional service and is asking for some material desires, he is not a devotee. He is a merchant. I am not a merchant, oh my Lord. Acharya say at this point, Prahlad became angry, saying that I am not a merchant. Why you are tempting me? I have rendered devotional service just to please you. So Prabhupada writes there, it is sometimes found that one comes to a devotee or a temple of the Lord just to get some material benefit. And Bhagavad Gita describes there are 4 types of motivated devotees. Arto, Artharthi, Jigyasu and Jnani. Those who are distressed, those who are in need of money, those who want to know, and those who are actually inquisitive. In material world currently, actually most of the people are arto or artharthi only. Very few are inquisitive or, jnani. So therefore, pure devotion means which is free from any of the contaminations. Anya bhilashita shunyam. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatve nirmalam. Rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate. That is pure devotional service. Serving the Supreme Lord with all our senses. So therefore, Prahlad is saying actually one who desires from you something, he is not a devotee, he is a merchant. So therefore, giving you a leaf, a flower, or or some food, if somebody offers these things and he wants post of Indra, post of Brahma, he is a merchant, he is not a devotee. And then he says, who is a pure devotee and who is a master? Ashashano na vaibhritya स्वामिन्याशीष आत्मनः न स्वामी भृत्य तस्वाम्यम इच्छयन् यो न राति चाशिषः. He says a servant who desires material benefits is not a qualified servant, and a master who bestows boons to maintain his position, that is not a pure master. Very interesting. Who is a pure devotee, who is a pure servant, and who is a pure master? Pure master will never serve, the pure servant will never serve the master to get something in return. That is a pure servant. And who is a pure master? He will never bestow boons to maintain his position. Okay, if I'll give so many things to my servant, he'll continue serving me. No. He is not a right master. So what is the definition of a servant? In the Chaitanya Charitamrita it comes when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going to South India Yatra. So Balbhadra Bhattacharya was chosen to go with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What were the qualities of Balbhadra Bhattacharya? Swarup kahe Balbhadra Bhattacharya tomate susnigdha bada pandit sadhu arya. He says, Swarup Damodar Goswami, he says, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave one condition. I will take a servant who is a new person and who does not who is not my intimate associate. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought, how is this possible, to get a new person who is not my intimate associate, at the same time he is very advanced. But somehow devotees, they found this person Balbhadra Bhattacharya. What were his qualities? Susnigdha, Pandit, Sadhu and Arya. These are the four qualities of a pure servant. Susnigdha, he should be very, very affectionate to the master. He should know the heart of the master. Pandit, he should be very, very learned in the scriptures so that he knows what to do, what not to do. Sadhu, he should be very gentle, well behaved. And Arya. Arya means he should know how to deal with other servants. So therefore, Prahlad Maharaj says here, a servant who desires some material benefits, he is not a pure servant. And a master who gives some benedictions to maintain his position, he is not a pure master. So therefore, those people who worship devatas, to get something in return, they are not pure devotees. Kamai staistairita jnana prapadyante anya devata. Because their intelligence is stolen by lusty desires, they surrender to some other devatas. And that's why demigod worshippers, they are many times called as alpamedhasaha. They are less intelligent. And then Prahlad says, but oh my Lord, I am not your motivated servant. I am your unmotivated servant. Aham tu akamas tvad bhakta. So in the 6th verse he says, akama tvad bhakta. I am your unmotivated servant and you are my eternal master. Tvam cha swami anapashrayaha. I am your unmotivated servant and you are my eternal master. Ami to tomar, tumi to amar, ki kaj apare dhane. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Ami to tomar, O my Lord, I am yours and you are mine. So similarly, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, I am your unmotivated servant, you are my eternal master. I am not dependent on any other thing. So therefore, that is the actual position of a devotee. That is the actual position of a living entity. Jivera Swarupa Hoye Krishnera Nityadas. And then Prabhupada writes, actually, better than being a servant of Lord is to become servant of the devotees of the Lord. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnur aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. Serving the devotees of the Lord is even better. So then after hearing all this, Lord Narasimha may say, okay, please accept something from me. It is my nature to give benediction. Whenever I come, I like to give benediction to my devotees. Please ask something, O Prahlad. So when Prahlad is requested in such a way, then again, Prahlad, he emphasizes his unmotivated service attitude. Yadi dasyasi me kaman varam stvam varadharshava kamanam ridi asamroham bhavatastu vrinevaram. He says, oh my Lord, if you at all want to bestow a benediction, yadi dasyasi, if you want to give some benediction to me, I want one benediction. Varam Tvam Varadarshava. Oh, best of the givers of benediction. Varadaraj. Varadaraj means best of the givers of benediction. So he's saying you are Varadarshava. You are the best among the givers of benediction. So therefore, if you want to give me something, please give me one benediction. Kamam Kamanam Ridi Asanroham. Please give me that benediction that I may not have any desire in my heart, any material desire. So although Lord Narasimhadev told to ask some material desire, some opulence, but Prahlad Maharaj says, if you want to give some benediction, please give me this one benediction. Kamanam Ridi Asanroha. Let no material desire enter my heart. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. So that is the unmotivated desire of a devotee. He only wants to serve. We heard in the prayers of Vritrasura also. He also prayed to the Lord. Nanaka prishtam, na chaparameshtam, na sarvabhaumam, na rasadhipatyam, na yoga siddhim, apunarbhavam va virahya samanjasatvam virahaya kangshe. Nanaka prishtam, I do not want Brahmaloka. I do not want Indra. Indraloka. I do not want, ownership of lower planetary systems. I do not want Dhruva Loka. I do not want liberation also. Then what do you want? Samanjasatva virahaya kangshe. I have only one desire to serve you, my Lord. And then again he emphasizes that, if somebody has material desires, what happens? Indriyani manah prana atma dharmo dhridirmati rir shri teja smridhar satyam yasya nashyanti janmana. So the functions of the indriyas, the senses, the mind, life air, the body, religion, dhriti means patience, and mati intelligence. And then shyness, shyness, shri means wealth, teja means strength, then smriti, memory, satyam, truthfulness. If somebody has material desires in the heart, the functions of all these things are destroyed. One cannot use the senses properly. One cannot use his intelligence properly. One cannot use his body properly. One cannot use his wealth properly if somebody has material desires. So that is a very dangerous position of a person who has material desires. He thinks I will enjoy with all these body and senses, but material desires, they completely destroy the natural function of all these things. The natural function of all these things is to serve Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada writes, what is a material life? Material life means to be afflicted by a formidable disease called lusty desire. That is a material disease. That is Ridha Roga. Ridha Roga means the disease which is affecting everyone's heart. And one can only become liberated from all these material desires by rendering pure devotional service. At least we can start aspiring for it. You may be thinking, Arey, Kidar Prahlad, great pure devotee, where am I, a fallen soul, full of lusty desires. At least we can start aspiring to become pure. That is the one step ahead. So when we hear such examples of pure devotees, they should inspire us to at least start our journey, start our journey towards back home, back to Godhead in a very, very determined way, starting with becoming free from all the sinful activities, you know and that is a secret. Prabhupada writes in one place, no one can be wrapped in attention in devotional service if he is not pure in his words. If somebody is not pure in his thoughts, nobody can be pure in the thoughts if he is not pure in his action. Nobody can be pure in action if he is not pure in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So therefore, we can at least start our aspiration to become pure in our basic activities of life. Because as soon as one has material desires, one loses the spiritual identity. So therefore, Lord Narasimha, when he hears all this from Prahlad, he may say, okay, if you do not desire benediction, then why do you desire service to me? Kya milega meri seva karke? So that is what Narasimha is asking. Why do you want to become my servant if you don't want anything? So Prahlad says, oh my Lord, when one is able to give up all material desires, then he is qualified to get an opulence like yours. Bhagavatva. Bhagavatva means one becomes similar in qualities as the Lord. That does not mean one becomes one with the Lord. That means one becomes spiritual, when one acquires a spiritual body. So that is the reason Prahlad is saying, when I'll give up all my material desires, I will have spiritual body. I will have spiritual desires. So therefore, then he offers his respects. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam Purushaya Mahatmane Haraye Adbhuta Simhaya Brahmane Paramatmane. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam. I offer my respects to that Supreme Lord who is Purushaya, who is full of six qualities, who is a supreme person, who is a supreme soul. Mahatmane Haraye. He is killer of all the miseries. Haraye Adbhut Simhaya. The wonderful lion and the man, Adbhuta Simhaya, Brahmane Paramatmane. He is Brahman, he is Paramatma. So then after saying all that, Prahlad became silent. Now, Lord Narasimha starts speaking. He says, O Prahlad, a devotee like you never desire anything material in this world, but I am giving you an order. It is my desire that you become the king of the demons and you rule until the end of this Manvantara. That means 71 Yuga cycles. So that is a huge duration of span which Narasimha Devi is telling Prahlad to rule. Prahlad, when he hears this, he might ask, what offense I have done that you are putting me in this, very whole of material life? मैंने क्या पाप किया है? So why you are putting me in this material life? Lord Narasimha says, O Prahlad, it does not matter that whether you are in the material world or you are in the spiritual world. Because wherever you may be, what you will do? You should always chant my names. You should always hear about my pastimes. Always be absorbed in my thoughts. Give up all the fruitive activities and render service unto me. That is the nature of a pure devotee, wherever he may go. Nayatra Vaikunta Katha Sudha Pagana Sadhavo Bhagavata Sadashraya Nayatra Yagyesh Makha Mahotsava Suresha Loko Pinavaisha Sevyatam. A devotee is not interested in going anywhere. He is not even interested in going to heaven if there is no Krishna Katha going on there, Nayatra Vaikunta Katha, if there are no association of devotees, if there are no festivals going on for the pleasure of the Lord. Devotee is not interested in that. devotee is interested only in service. So therefore, Narasimhadev is saying, it does not matter for you, O Prahlad, because you are always absorbed in my thoughts. Vaman also tells to Bali Maharaj, he says, if somebody has aristocratic birth and all the other opulences, if he does not surrender everything, whatever he has in my service, he will be proud. But Prahlad, you have surrendered everything to me, so therefore you don't worry about it. The same is spoken about Priyavrat Maharaj also. Priyavrat, although he was a brahmachari living in the ashram of Narad Muni, then Swayambhu Manu came and he told, "Oh Priyavrat, there is nobody to rule, please come back." So then, Priyavrat came back, he ruled this Bhumandala for 1 crore years. But still, and then at a proper time, he gave up everything and he perfected his life. So Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukdev Goswami, how is this possible? That he entered family life, but still he was not attached to it. So Shukdev Goswami says, Bhayam pramatasya vaneshu api syad yatas aste sahasat sapatnaha jitendriyasya atmarate budhasya grihashramam kimnu karoti avadya. Even if somebody gives up all his family life and goes to the forest, he does not go alone. He goes with 6 wives, his mind and the 5 senses. But the person who is a Jitendriya, who has controlled his senses, who is self-satisfied and who is intelligent, he will not be entangled. So therefore, now Prahlad tells that, Narasimhadev tells Prahlad that don't worry about karma. Don't think you will become entangled in karma. You are Jivan Mukta. You are already liberated. Don't worry about that. So then what should I do? Prahlad Maharaj may ask. Bhogena punyam kushalena papam kalevaram kala javena hitva kirtim vishuddham suraloka gitam vitaya mameshyasi mukta bandha. Very interesting, very important verse. So in this verse, Narasimhadev is describing the process of liberation from the bondage. Bhogena punyam. He says, destroy your piety by enjoying the opulences. Because we have to enjoy the results of our good actions also. So Narasimhadev is saying, destroy your pious results by enjoying it. Kushalen papam. And very expertly learn how to live in this world and tolerate all the sinful reactions. Kalevaram kala javena hitva. By the passage of time, this body will go through many changes. Just tolerate that. And then kirtim vishuddham suraloka gitam. Don't worry, Prahlad, your pure glory will be sung even in the heavenly planets. Vitaya mameshyasi. And then after enjoying, you will become free from material desires and you will attain me. Prabhupada writes a very interesting purport. He quotes Chakravarti Thakur. He says, Prahlad, like Narad Muni, we heard about Narad Muni in the first canto, how he was a son of a maid servant. By serving the Bhaktivedantists, he became a pure devotee. So Prahlad was, Narad Muni was a mixture of sadhana siddha and nitya siddha. He was partly sadhana siddha and partly nitya siddha. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj is also partly sadhana siddha and partly nitya siddha. So therefore, Prahlad Narasimhadev is telling Prahlad, Kushalen, one should live in this world very, very expertly. Because the intricacies of this karma are very difficult to understand, one should be very, very careful. So, there is a story about Prahlad Maharaj's past life. So, in the last life, in the earlier another kalpa, Prahlad, he was so very attached to a woman. This man, he was so very attached to a woman, and he wanted to enjoy with that lady, with her. But he did not want to do it in the city because he was not married to her. So he went to a forest and he was looking for some isolation where he could enjoy with her. He found a Narasimha temple. And this temple was a very desolate temple. It was abandoned and it was very dirty. And so happened that on the that was Narsimha Chaturdashi day. So this person, he cleaned the entire temple of Narsimhadev very nicely, and then he enjoyed with that lady that night. But the power of serving the temple of Narsimhadev, cleaning the temple on Narsimha Chaturdashi day, he got the uh, blessings and he became Prahlad in the next life. That is a story which is described. So Narsimhadev, he said, not only you are talking about becoming free from bondage. He says, Are not only you are free from bondage, you know, even others who remember you, they will also become free from bondage. Yaetat kirtayan mahyam toya geetam idam narah tvam cha mam cha smaran kale karma bandhat pramuchyate. So he says, Are what to speak of you, anybody who remembers you, anybody who remembers your activities, and mamcha, twamcha and mamcha. Anybody who remembers your activities and my activities, who chants the prayers which you have offered to me. We discussed the whole last class, the prayers offered by Prahlad. What will be the result? Karma bandhat pramuchyate. He will become free from all the bondage of material existence. येषां संस्मरणात् पुंसा सद्यो शुद्ध्यन्ति वै गृहात् किम पुनर्दर्शन स्पर्श पाद शौचासनादिभिः. Parikshit Maharaj is telling to Shukdev Goswami, O great sage, O Shukdev Goswami, just by remembering you, a devotee, a person becomes purified. What to speak of, if somebody gets a chance to serve the devotee, and worship the lotus feet of the devotee. So that is the glory of Prahlad Maharaj. Narasimha is saying, why are you worrying about karma? आपको स्मरण करने वाले भी कर्म बंधन से मुक्त हो जाएंगे. What to speak of you? And then, previously, Prahlad now, he prayed for the deliverance of people all over the world, when he was offering prayers. Prayana deva muneyo savimukti kama maunam charanti nijane. He was praying, I am just thinking about the fallen condition of the people in general. Shoche tato means I am lamenting about the fallen condition of people of this world. And now he prays for the deliverance of his own father. Although Hiranyakashipu, he was purified by the touch of Narsimhadev. Just by being in touch with the hands of the Lord, he was killed by the Lord. He was completely purified. But still, Prahlad knew this. But Prahlad wanted to hear from the mouth of Narsimhadev. He wanted to hear the destination of his father from mouth of Narsimhadev. So Prahlad, now in the 15th verse, he prayed for a benediction. He said, O my Lord, because you are so merciful to the fallen souls, I pray for only one benediction. Out of ignorance, my father, whom you have killed out of your mercy, he was so angry at you, he blasphemed you, he criticized you, he was engaging in all sorts of sinful activities. He tried to, destroy me, kill me. I wish that he be delivered. Please excuse him from all the sinful reactions. So therefore, as a Vaishnava's son, Prahlad Maharaj was a devotee. So in spite of all the inconvenience which his father gave to him, Prahlad, he was thinking about the welfare of his father. So when, Narsimhadev, he hears this, he says, Oh Prahlad, what to speak of your father? 21 generations are already purified. Trisaptavi pita puta pitravi sahate nagha yat sadhvasya kule jato bhavan vai kulpavanah. What to speak of your father? Your 21 generations are purified. Why? Because yat sadhavo asya kule jato. You have taken birth in the family. Because you have taken birth, your entire dynasty is purified. Kul Pavana. He is saying Kul Pavana. You are the purifier of your entire dynasty. So it is described in the scriptures, what happens when somebody becomes a devotee. Nrityanti pitaras sarve nrityanti cha pitamaha madvamshe vaishnava jata samitrata bhavishyati. When somebody becomes a devotee, all the ancestors in the Pitri Loka and all the other state, all the other planets, they start dancing. Nrityanti, start dancing. Pitaras sarve, pitamaha, grandfathers, great grandfathers, everybody starts dancing. Why? Madhvamshe Vaishnava Jata. In my family, a Vaishnava has taken birth. So then what will happen? Sametrata Bhavishyati. He will deliver me from this fallen condition. So that is the greatest welfare work we are doing when somebody becomes a devotee. Not only he becomes purified, he gives a chance to deliver entire, dynasty. So therefore, Prabhupada writes there that Prahlad has purified both father's lineage and mother's lineage. Somebody may think, concert 21 generation, father wala ki mother wala. Prabhupada writes both. Father's lineage and mother's lineage both are purified. So Prabhupada writes there, when Vaishnava takes birth in a family, by the grace of the Lord, he purifies not only that family, and that, very interesting. He says, Prabhupada is writing, he purifies not only that family, but also he purifies the families of his previous birth. This is too much. Prabhupada is saying, if somebody becomes a devotee, previous life ke bhi families, get delivered. And then Prahlad says, Narasimhadev says, oh Prahlad, devotees like you, they purify just by their presence. Yatra yatra cha mad bhakta prashanta samadarshinaha sadhavo samudachara te puyante pikikataha. Yatra yatra cha mad bhakta. Wherever and whenever there are my devotees who are prashanta, who are samadarshana, who are peaceful, who are equipoised, sadhavo, they are well behaved, samudachara. Samudachara means they are endowed with all the good qualities. You know what they do? Te puyante, they purify even the condemned dynasties. So therefore, your dynasty is purified because of your love for me. My devotee becomes free from all the material contaminations. My devotees, they do not distinguish between lower and higher living entities. Prahlad, when he hears all this, he says, oh my Lord, ye jo aap bol rahe na, these are all greatness of those great devotees. I know the greatness of your devotees. I am not astonished by hearing the greatness of your devotees. Yatra yatra chamad bhakta. I know the greatness of your devotees. But out of his humility saying, he will say that I am not like that. I am not a great devotee. So Narasimhadev, he senses this thought which is going on in the mind of Prahlad. Then Narasimhadev, he gives the ultimate declaration. He says, Jare, you are the best of all my devotees. Bhavanti purusha loke madbhakta stvam anuvrataha bhavan me khalu bhaktanam sarvesham pratirupadrik. Those who follow your example, they will naturally become my pure devotee. Why? Because sarvesham pratirupadrik, because you are the best of all my devotees. So Lord is himself endorsing. So what can be a greater glorification, Who can give a better, assurance? We as it is said, if somebody is a pure devotee, then he can only see, okay, this person is a pure devotee. It takes one to know one. But who can know better than Lord? Lord is himself saying, Prahlad, you are my best devotee. And Prahlad is not feeling like that. He is not looking around thinking, Dega, kya bol rahe mere bare mein Bhagwan, So he's so very humble. In Chaitanya Charitamrita also, the story comes when, Haridas Thakur is about to depart. He's very old. He's not able to chant his rounds, 192 rounds. Chant his rounds means not 16. He's chanting 192 rounds every day. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and tells Haridas, you don't have to chant so much. Please reduce your rounds. Haridas Thakur says, oh my Lord, my body is all right, my mind is not all right. And then he makes a plea to the Lord. Haridas Thakur says, my Lord, I know that you are about to leave this planet. I don't want to see your disappearance pastimes. Please allow me to leave before you. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he hears this, he becomes so very, sad. Prabhu kahe Haridas ye tumi magibe Krishna kripa may taha avashya koribe. He says, Haridas, you are such a great devotee. Whatever you desire, Krishna will fulfill that desire. But that is not my pleasure. Kintu amare kichu sukh sab toma laiya tomara yogya nahe yabe amare chhadiya. But whatever small pleasure I have in this world, that is because of your association. Please don't leave me. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also telling the same thing. You are the best of my devotees. Whatever happiness I am experiencing is because of you. Charane dhari kohe Haridas nakori hamaya avashya modhame prabhu karo ei daya. So Haridas Thakur says he catches hold of feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, oh Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please don't create illusion. Please show one mercy. Please show one mercy to me. मोर शिरोमणि कत कत महाशय तोमार लीलाय सहाय कोटि भक्त है. Are there are so many great devotee associates of you, my Lord, who are ready to associate, who are ready to help you in your pastimes. आमा हेन यदि एक कीट मरी गेला एक पिप्पिलिका मरिले पृथ्वी का कहाँ हानि होइला. So he says, my Lord, what loss will what will be the loss if one insect dies? There is no loss if an insect dies. Pippalika means ant. If one ant dies, what will be the loss for this earth? So that is the nature of a devotee. He never feels I am qualified. He never feels I am so very proud, so very exalted. He is always humble. So that is Prahlad's position. And then Narasimhadev, he speaks. Your father has already been purified by my touch. Don't worry, because I have touched him at the time of his death. He has already become purified. Now please perform the final rites of your father. And when you perform your final rites for your father, he will attain the best of the planets. Prabhupada writes there, although Hiranyakashipu was already purified, but still he had to take birth on a higher planet to become a devotee again. So that is another, statement Prabhupada writes there. And then Narasimhadevi tells, take charge of the kingdom of your father. After you do your final rites of your father, take charge of the kingdom and rule this kingdom, fixing your mind on me. And then Prabhupada writes, and actually Narasimhadevi says, you perform your duties just as a matter of formality. Don't become attached to it. Just do all your activities as a matter of formality. So a devotee is not obliged to follow all the regulatory principles, but he still does it so that the other people, they do not criticize the devotee. Just see this person, he became devotee and he stopped doing all the regular, duties which a person does. And secondly, whenever a devotee, he does a Vedic ritual, his faith is not there in that ritual. He knows, just like, when Prabhupada, when he was doing the installation ceremony of Krishna Balram temple in Vrindavan, he called all the Pandits and priests from Vrindavan also. Because he knew that if I am opening this temple and if I'll not call all these people to do the installation ceremony, they'll feel that, okay, this is not a bona fide temple. So just to create a public acceptance, he called them. But he told the devotees, most important thing is chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra should go on. When Prabhupada, he was getting sannyas initiation, you know, uh, from Keshav Bharati Maharaj. So he told Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj that you please keep doing kirtan, keep chanting the names of Lord, chant Hare Krishna. And then Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji was chanting this, he was doing his kirtan. And then, this other person who was doing the yagya, he was getting disturbed by the chants. So he told, you please stop chanting. And then Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji, he stopped chanting. But Prabhupada, he told, indicated, you please continue chanting. That was the faith Prabhupada had. And that's why Kanchan Krishnadas Babaji, once he met Bon Maharaj, one of the disciples of Saraswati Thakur, and he was telling that, just see this Abhay Charan Arvind Swami, Abhay Babu, you are a sannyasi disciple of Saraswati Thakur, but still you could not go to London and you could not preach in London. But just see this Abhay Babu, what he has done. He has made devotees from all over the world. You know how he was able to do it? Because he had complete faith in the power of holy name. So therefore, devotee, he has full faith in the holy names of the Lord. He does all the ritualistic activities so that other people do not disturb him. Similarly, we have heard about Prithu Maharaj, Bharat Maharaj. They were also doing yagya. But as they were doing yagya, they were offering oblations in the fire. Om Indraya Swaha, Om Chandraya Swaha. Thinking that these devatas, they are the limb of Lord Vishnu. So that is the consciousness of a devotee. So then Prahlad was coronated. He performed the last rites of his father, and he was, coronated by Brahmaji. And Brahmaji then, surrounded by all the devatas, he offered prayers to Lord Narasimha. He described that, oh my Lord, you are the Lord of all the devatas, you are Deva Deva, you are Akhila Adhyaksha, you are the supreme controller, you are Bhuta Bhavana, and therefore you have very mercifully killed this demon. And this demon, he received benedictions by me to stay for a long time, and he would not be killed by anyone within my creation. And therefore he became so very proud of his power. But you have destroyed the pride of this demon. You have saved your devotee Prahlad from the hands of death. And therefore, anybody who meditates on you, you naturally protect him. That's why, when Prabhupada, he fell sick, in the initial days of ISKCON, he first time he told the devotees, you chant this Narsimha Arti. Since then onwards, this Narsimha Arti was introduced in our ISKCON movement, because Lord Narasimha is the protector of his devotees. So that is the power of Narasimha Dev. So Prabhupada writes there, when one becomes a devotee of the Lord, very interesting purport in the 29th verse, Prabhupada writes, he says, when one becomes a devotee of the Lord, however, he is not destined to die according to a limited duration of life. Because everybody has a limited duration of life, right? But when somebody becomes a devotee of the Lord, the devotee's lifetime may be extended by the mercy of the Lord. Lord can do anything. Because Lord's devotee is completely under the shelter of the Lord. He's not under the shelter of Yamraj. And we discussed in detail in the 6th canto, Ajamil pastime, where Yamraj himself tells, oh my sons, please do not go anytime to devotees, to bring devotees, because Lord is always there protecting them. Yatra, what is that verse? Te deva siddha parigita pavitra gatha ye sadhavo samadrisho bhagavat prapannaha tan na upasidata hare. Please do not go near them. Gadaya bhigupta. Lord is always protecting his devotees. So therefore, Lord can do anything. He can extend the life of a devotee. Then Lord Narasimha, he warns Brahmaji. He says, oh Brahmaji, it is very, very dangerous to give such benedictions. It is as if feeding milk to a dangerous snake. I warn you not to give such benedictions to any demon again, You have already created enough of problems. Please don't give any such predictions in future. Then after saying all that, being worshipped by Brahmaji, Narsimdev disappeared. And then Prahlad, he also worshipped all the devatas being. He was not thinking, Prahlad was not thinking, just see, I was able to satisfy Narsimdev. Narsimdev was so very merciful. He had just told me I am the best of the devotees. All of you should come and offer respects. No. He worshipped all the devatas, Brahma, Shiva, all the devatas who had come. And thereafter, along with Shukracharya, Brahmaji, he made Prahlad the king of all the demons. The demigods, they offered all their obeisances to Brahmaji, and they also left for their abodes. So now the discourse, which started by a question of Yudhishthir Maharaj to Narad Muni. Yudhishthir Maharaj asked about Shishupal and Dantavakra, and Narad Muni, he described the whole story. And now again, Narad Muni will conclude the narration by describing the three lives of Jay and Vijay. So he says, in the first birth, Shishupal, this Jay and Vijay, they became Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. They were killed by Narsimhadev and Varahadev. In the second birth, they became Ravan and Kumbhakaran. They were killed by Lord Ram and Lakshman. And in the third birth, now they became Dantavakra, Shishupal and Dantavakra. And we just saw Shishupal being killed and he merged in the body of the Lord. And then he says, anybody who is constantly absorbed in the thoughts of Lord, they become liberated by just being absorbed in the thoughts. Gyopyah kamad bhayat kamso dvesya shaidyadayo nripa sambandhad vishnaya snehad yuyam bhaktya vayam vipho. Just by the lusty desires, gopis became liberated. That lust is not a mundane lust, that is a spiritual lust. Bhayad kamso. Kamsa became so liberated by being absorbed in fear. Shishupal, he became liberated because of envy. He was so absorbed in envious thoughts, he became liberated. So therefore, Narad Muni says that pure devotees who constantly think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they attain Sarupya Mukti. Sarupya Mukti means having the same bodily features as the Lord. So therefore, Shishupal, Dantavakra and all the other kings, although they were enemies of Krishna, because they were constantly thinking of Krishna, they attained the same result. And then after this, Narad Muni describes the Falashruti of this. Shukdev Goswami describes the Falashruti of hearing all this. Narad Muni describes the Falashruti to Yudhishthir Maharaj. He says, everything you've asked me about Prahlad, about Shishupal and everything else, I have explained you. And now, this narration, whoever will recite this narration, which includes the description of Mahabhagavat Prahlad, and then the qualities and the activities of the Lord and the Bhagavat Dharma, he will become free from all the anxieties. Yayetat punyam akhyanam vishnor viryopabrimitam kirtaye shraddhaya shrutva karma pashayer vimuchyate. So now he says that anybody who faithfully hears and chants the narration of the activities and omnipotence of Lord Narsimha, and he glorifies it and glorifies the pure devotion of Prahlad also, they will become free from this material existence. So now interestingly, when Yudhishthir Maharaj, he hears all these beautiful pastime of Prahlad, he is thinking, just see, for one devotee, one incarnation came. Prahlad was so very fortunate, and I am not so fortunate. I could not see the Lord. Prahlad was so very fortunate to see the Lord. We are not so fortunate. And that happens many times, in devotees. Even if somebody is practicing Krishna consciousness for so many years, he is so very advanced devotee, but he still thinks, I am so very fallen, so very lusty. These thoughts of, all these, thoughts come sometime. One becomes sometimes low in the morale. He thinks, I am still having so many anarthas, so many conditionings I still have. What will happen to me? That time, what should we do? We should remember our good fortune. We should remember what all we have got in Krishna consciousness. And we have got ample amount of things. We can just write down every day whatever we have got by the mercy of devotees, by the mercy of the Lord. We didn't even know who is God, what is this process of liberation. By the mercy of Prabhupada, we have got so many things. That's how we should remember our fortune. We should remember the good experience which we have in Krishna consciousness. Whenever we feel morose, whenever we feel low, कुछ नहीं होगा मेरा, आई एम सो फॉलन, क्या होगा मेरा, आई विल नॉट गेट लिबरेटेड, इधर ही रहूंगा मैं, आई विल बर्थ आफ्टर द बर्थ, आई हैव टू स्टे इन द मटेरियल वर्ल्ड ओनली, व्हेन विल आई गेट फ्री फ्रॉम ऑल द मटेरियल डिजायर्स. When all these thoughts come, of course we have to become strong in our sadhana, but we have to remember our good fortune also. So therefore, Yudhishthira Maharaj is also thinking out of his humility. Oh, what will happen to what? I'm so very unfortunate. So Narad Muni, he increases the morale of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Very famous verse he says, Yuyam niloke batabhuri bhaga lokam punana munayo bhiyanti yesham grihana vasatiti sakshat gudham param brahma manushya lingam. He says, Yuyam niloke. Are among all the humans, you are Batabhuri Bhaga. You are the most fortunate. Lokam Punana Munayo Bhyanti, because great saints, they visit your house. You know why the great saints visit your house? Yesham Grihana Vasatiti Sakshat. You know who is staying in your home? In your home, Sakshat Gudham Param Brahma is staying in the human form. Param Brahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is staying directly in your home personally. He spends, most of the time with you Pandavas. You are most fortunate. He is not even seen by greatest of the yogis, but you have conquered the Lord by your devotion. So therefore, Narad Muni is telling you are the most fortunate. Actually, you are more fortunate than Prahlad. He's saying you are more fortunate than Prahlad, you are more fortunate than me, you are more fortunate than, all the other devotees. You are more fortunate than all the other members of the dynasties of like Yadu and Puru dynasty, all the previous members. You are more fortunate than anybody else. You are more fortunate even than the sages like Vashishta, Kashyapa, Marichi. You are even more fortunate than Brahma and Shiva. Actually, you are more fortunate than all the other jivas. The sages who purify the entire planet by traveling, they are coming to your house to stay there. They don't want to leave. Krishna would always tell, okay, you please go and share this message to others. The sages would not leave not leave Dwarka. Whenever Krishna would come to Hastinapur, sages would stay in Hastinapur. So therefore, Narad Muni is saying you are most fortunate. He says actually he does not personally come and live in the human form in the house of Prahlad. Narsimhadev pastime is just a half-day pastime, That's all. Everything is over in just half a day. Narsimhadev did not stay with Prahlad. So Narad Muni is telling, Arey, that Supreme Lord Narsimha is staying in your house. He is becoming your servant. He is becoming your messenger. He is becoming your, chariot driver. Saratya parshad sevana sakhya dautya virasana stavana pranaman snigdeshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha vishno bhaktim karoti nipatis charanara vinde. So it is described in the first canto. Saratya, Krishna became Sarathi, constant associate, servant, messenger. He was ready to protect the Pandavas, Virasana, Anugamana. He was sincerely, humbly following Bhima and Yudhishthira because they were superiors, they were elders. Snigdheshu, that is very important quality of the Pandavas. They were malleable to the will of Krishna. And because they were malleable to the will of Krishna, Krishna became malleable to the will of Pandavas. If Pandavas, they would say, oh Krishna, please stay, Krishna would stay. We heard in the first canto when after this whole Kurukshetra war, Krishna was about to leave. Yudhishthira Maharaj came and told Krishna, please stay for some more time. And Krishna stayed for a few more months. Snigdeshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha Vishnu bhaktim karote nripatis charanara vinde. So therefore, Narad Muni says, Are Krishna is your intimate friend. He is your cousin. He is your constant well-wisher. Yan manyase matuleyam piriyam mitram surittamam akarot sachivam dutam sauridad atha sarathim. Very beautiful verse, 49th verse. He's saying, Hare Krishna is your intimate friend, he is your cousin, he is your well-wisher, he is your surit, he is your spiritual master, he is your akarot sachiva. Sachiva means whatever you say, he is doing. He is your duta. So therefore, nobody is more fortunate than you. Then Yudhishthira becomes pacified. He says, then he might think, then why does the basis of that supreme Brahman, Krishna, he becomes a servant of people like me who have material vision? I am such a materialistic person. Yudhishthira Maharaj is thinking out of his humility. So now Narad Muni explains the difficulty in understanding Krishna. He says, I don't know. Why Krishna is doing like this, I don't know. He says even Brahma, even Shiva, they cannot understand Krishna. They cannot describe Krishna. So therefore, nobody can understand. Yudhishthira Maharaj asks, Yudhishthira Maharaj may think, Brahma, okay, I understand, Brahma does not understand. But Shiva should understand, no? Shiva is such a great, he's not a, Jiva Tattva also. He's a completely different Tattva, Shiram Yatha Dadivikar. Shiva could understand. Now, sensing this thought of Yudhishthira Maharaj, Narad Muni tells another story in which describes how, Shiva, he derives even his power from Lord Krishna. So therefore, Narad Muni, starts a story. He says, long ago, there was a demon, Maya, Mayadana, very famous demon. He reduced the reputation of Lord Shiva. And in that situation, Lord Shiva, he was saved by Krishna. Yudhishthira asked, for what reason Mayadana vanquished the reputation of Lord Shiva? How did Lord Krishna save Lord Shiva? So that now, in response to this question, Narad Muni narrates the story of Shiva killing the demons with the help of Vishnu. So he says that, one time there was a demon called Tarkasur. Tarkasur, he was killed by Devatas. And the three sons of Tarkasur, their name was Vidyunmali, Tarakaksha and Kamalaksha. They, did a huge, intense tapasya to Brahmaji, to please Brahma. And Brahma, he gave them three very, very powerful, invincible cities. He gave Tarakaksh a Swarna city, Swarnapuri, a city made up of gold. He gave Kamalaksh, city made up of silver. He gave Vidyunmali, city made up of iron. And they were flying cities. It was like a flying city. They could travel at the will of these demons. And because of these cities, these demons, they became so very powerful. And Lord Shiva, when the demons, they started attacking all the devatas, remaining invisible, because these cities, they were invisible. And these demons, they started to destroy the whole world, all the three worlds. So all the rulers of the planet, they surrendered to Lord Shiva for protection. Lord Shiva, he reassured the devatas, and he released his golden arrows, and he destroyed the three residential airplanes of the demons. The demons, they actually lost their lives. That was the power of Lord Shiva. That's why, Lord Shiva is called Tripurari. So these three demons, Tarakaksha, Kamalaksha, and Vidyunmali, they were three asuras with their cities. So therefore, these three demons together they were called as Tripurasur. So Lord Shiva, he killed all these demons. But interestingly, Mayadanav, he was so very powerful. He created a lake full of nectar, and he had the power, he had the knowledge of Mrita Sanjeevani Vidya. So when the demons they were killed, he put the dead bodies of these demons into the lake, and the demons they were revived, and their bodies became more stronger than the thunderbolt, and they became very very powerful. Seeing this, Lord Shiva, he became very disappointed, and then he approached Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu, he thought for a solution. So Lord Vishnu and Brahma, they became cow and the calf, and this cow and the calf, they went to this lake of nectar, and they drank the entire nectar. They emptied it, and after this, you know this and all the demons, they could not do anything because they were completely under the spell of Lord Vishnu. And therefore, when Mayadanav, he saw this, he told demons, this is destined by the Supreme Lord. If Lord desires anything, you cannot go against the will of the Lord. So therefore, Prabhupada writes there, however I plan or however you plan, however both of us plan, but Lord has planned something different. So therefore, no one's plan can be successful in front of the plan of Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu. So then Krishna, he equipped Lord Shiva with all the paraphernalia, and he gave chariot, horses, and armor, and a shield, and elephant and bow, everything Lord Vishnu gave to Lord Shiva. And then he empowered Lord Shiva with his own potency. And then Lord Shiva, he went on to fight with this Mayadanav, and ultimately Lord Shiva, he set fire to all the cities, and he killed these demons. And that's why Lord Shiva, he became known as Tripurari. And therefore, Lord Krishna, he performed very, very wonderful pastimes by hearing when one hears such pastimes, one becomes purified. So that is the end of the 10th chapter. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So are there any questions? You can please ask if you have any questions. One question is, Lord Nrsimhadev appeared before Prahlad Maharaj, as you said in the last. Last life he worshipped Nrsimhadev on Nrsimha Chaturdashi. What is this happening here? So basically, Nrsimha Leela is an eternal pastime. It goes on happening in every kalpa. So that is a story from other kalpa, where, and in that time, Prahlad was acting as a conditioned soul. Although he is a liberated soul, but he was acting like conditioned soul. So that is understanding. Yes, Mayadana is the father of Mandodari. Yes, correct. Somebody asked the question. Okay, so any other questions anybody has? Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.